Alright, I'm going to go ahead and precursor this next section of the video because I've had some thoughts on the drive out here from Red Deer to High River in the great situation that we are in. Actually, we're in a great situation to be able to tour as a band this many years later. 30 years into it, I think you know that. And I hear a lot of complaining from bands about touring situations and living situations, sleeping situations, not feeling like they're achieving goals a lot of times when in difficult or different situations, I guess you could say, than on a non-consistent basis. But it's really made me think a lot on this run, I guess. And again, I want to precursor this by saying we are in a very good situation here out in Canada. We are in an extremely good situation out here in Canada. We got to fly out here. We got to rent a van from our friend Steve and Fats, and it's a fucking killer van. It's a killer van, and it's getting us all over the country, and that's all we need. That's all you need. That's all you need. You need to get a thing to get from point A to point B, and so we are ever so grateful that we have even a vehicle to do such things to get from point A to point B. Now, many bands would not see this as a victory in some regard, but to us, it's a reminder of humility, of why you do this and what it takes to do this for any bands out there starting out, thinking that it's all glitz and glamour, thinking that after this many years you think you'd be in these situations of such and such and such and such, of a bus and the things of that nature too. Many bands are. Many bands can afford that. Many bands are in different situations than other bands. Many bands choose to spend their money on those things. Even if they're not better than other bands, they've got a bigger fan base to where they make more money and are allowed bigger guarantees. And that does not, once again, say the band's any better or worse. It just means that they have a broader fan base that is consistently coming around enough to where promoters notice that, and they know that they will get their money made back to them from the amount they're putting out to the band. So, with that said, I want to give you a little run and tour of our little van real quick here, because it's taken me back to the old school days. It's taken me back to the very early days and beyond. It's actually taken us back to the roots where you really start out when you're in a band, when you're in a punk band, a rock band, typically any kind of band. Unless you got money backing you, it's going to be the situation you will be in. It's your reality for, some would say, the beginning, some would say 30 years later. You're still doing it because you love it and you deal with the situations you're in. You adapt to every situation you're in. You make it the best thing possible, and you're just grateful for it in general, because a lot of people can't even do this, and a lot of people can't even have the means to have friends that would rent them their van to let them even come out and do a tour in a different country. So with that said, I want to show you guys the van we're touring in as a collective 5-piece of individuals. So we got the driver's seat here, obviously. It's a nice driver's seat. Got a very nice driver's seat here. Right here we have got a epic. I'm showing this because I just put my new album out and I got some CDs, and people have actually said when I hand them a CD, they're like a CD? I'm like, I know, it's classic. It's almost like buying the new vinyl. So it's more classic than vinyl. It's classic because classic's a new wave and kind of a cool thing to do, and more people want that than they want CDs. Which I think, I'm going to make a prediction. I think that the next thing will be bringing back the giant laser discs, because those are kind of like a combination of the vinyl and the CD, and it seems like that'd be kind of a cool revolutionary thing to bring back and tap back into, is like, you know, the throwback, like tape cassettes. Speaking of which, there's also a Vision tape deck right here, which is still cool because then you got the new school shit. You can plug in your doppelganger and play your tunes off your Spotify's and all the fun stuff too. But we had the wrong tip on this thing for the wrong phone. So luckily I brought one with me. I just realized that on the drive here. But I remembered that I did have that with me in one of my pair of pants in one of my suitcases in the back. I was jamming my tunes in this little cubby right here. And this was kind of what made me think about this and want to do a little tell-all about the travel and the vans and the things and the things it takes to want to do this, and the things you come across sometimes on the road. and you make it the best situation possible. So this right here has become, on my trip out here on this drive today, my speaker system to give it a nice hollow area to amplify the sound coming out of my little speaker phone here on the bottom. I was listening to some of our new demos for Authority Zero music, new mixes for our new Authority Zero music that will be coming out sometime this year. I'm not gonna say when, because I don't want to jump the gun, but be ready for that because it's banging. I'm super stoked. So there's that. That was my speaker system. That's my hangs. We got our power system right here. Plug in the phones, which is ripping because you have adapters for both of these different types. It looks like it's type A, B, and then C over here. Got our little where's this what was it called again? Fuse. Another classic thing. We got our fuses right here. You plug in right here if you want to plug another phone in or something. We have got limited room. We've got limited room on this tour, which is totally fucking cool because you know what? As a band, I like finding the silver lining in everything. As a band, it's always fun to get closer to your bandmates because a lot of times on tour, you're kind of trying to find your space. Sometimes you get a little disconnected. Sometimes you're like, I need my room, get away from me, don't touch me, I'm having a moment. In situations like this, you are meant to deal with the situations you're going through as well as talk to your comrades. And cool enough, you end up working some shit out with them and they kind of help collectively bring you some peace rather than frustration. Sometimes it's the opposite, of course. That's just how conversations go sometimes. But more times than not, and in situations we've had some today, we've been able to help each other make light of situations to give each other more peace and calm by being so close and in such tight quarters and not so separated to deal with things on our own individually up in here. So you'll see here, we have got Chris Daly's suitcase. It's been actually a nice armrest. When I drove in today, I've got kind of a tight shoulder here. I think it's really tight from, it's my microphone arm, as Dickie from Mighty Boss Tones used to say. This is my mic arm. I get what he's talking about now. It gets really tight up through here from swinging the microphone around and all this stuff. Well, we've had, because of restrictions of room, we've had to put Chris Daly's suitcase right here, which has then caused a very nice driving shoulder rest for my right arm, which relieves all the tension right here. It's magic. I could do this the rest of my life in every band we have from now on. Lady was asking for me to remove a part from the band. So this is fucking key. This is clutch right here. We're kind of digging this. And actually, we might leave this here, even if we get room more in the back, because of that actual benefit. So, silver lining, folks. Always look at the silver lining and the good things in life. It's my song on a beach. A lot has to do with that. That song is about many things, but one of which is any situation you're in life, you have the mental choice to make right then and there if you're gonna see the shit in the situation or if you're gonna see the sandy beach in the situation. And more times than not, if you decide, if you make that call, if you consciously make that decision in your mind, you're gonna find the good in whatever shit situation you may be in ever, then you'll find yourself on a beach no matter where you're at. And it's kind of a life thing I was talking about there. You can choose your mental path for the day, the situation you're in. I know, I get it. Every situation is different. So I'm not saying, yeah, well, you're this and that. Well, you want to say you're on tour and you're a band that's doing things. I'm not saying that. I know everyone's got like their day jobs. Everyone's got everything else is different than everybody else's situation. What I'm saying is that any hardship you get into, you have a moment to take a breath and then feel something more and feel something different possibly than what you're feeling in that immediate moment of frustration and just fuck it all, this is ridiculous, my life sucks, this is over kind of shit. So just take a breath, picture your beach, put yourself in that atmosphere and reprocess your mind and reevaluate your situation and you'll be much happier, I promise you. Just give it a shot, experiment with it. I do it daily, literally, I do it daily. Every single day, every situation, that's what I do. So, little advice, take it for what it is, with a grain of salt if you will. So anyhow, so we have passenger seat right here. Right here, we've got my suitcase, big green machine back here, which I bought because no one's gonna want that color suitcase, so you'll never get confused in the airport, especially traveling worldwide with everybody having the black suitcases. That's happened one too many times where you think it's yours and you just gotta grab the wrong one and you better bring it back even after you left the airport. Or it has to get mailed to you. That happened to Chris Daly recently. So we got a space here, we got a space for one here. Back there in the second row, I'll show you, hold on. I'm gonna make our way back here because the cool thing is also I lost my phone charger day one. Well, I didn't lose it, I left it in the hotel room behind the desk, the nightstand next to my bed, which happens a lot because you're sometimes getting out of there with all your stuff scattered and you're trying to pack your shit. And it's van call, and you don't want to be the asshole that's late because everyone's at the van waiting for you, which they still were waiting for me because I was looking for something else. But good thing about that, again, silver lining people, silver lining about that is that I then went and bought another phone cable and charger that has a 6-foot cable. So now, because of my misfortune and my misplacement of my things and my fart-headedness at the moment, I was able to go and get something that can now allow me to do this video for all of you to show you our traveling and living quarters for the next 2 weeks. So here we are in row number 3. This one's a pretty cool row right now. We got a couple things, my hoodie, this is some garbage, a couple empty water bottles. Not bad. There's actually, if we want to take turns now, there's a kind of a peripheral of the front from here, this being the last seat of the van right now. You'll see that kind of whole situation there. But now we can fit 2 right here if we want, and then one person can stretch out all along here and kick their feet up if we need to take on the longer drives, naps. So that's pretty dope. I think that's pretty cool. So then we've got another suitcase here, obviously. We've got our banner bag right here. And back here is the mother load. As you see, these are my inner monitors. Right here, they're getting crushed. Let's get these over. Put these over. We have, you can't see it really that well, but we have, come here, asshole. We have all of our merch for our 30-year anniversary tour, which we're on right now. And these are the Racerbacks tank tops for ladies. We have 32 boxes of merch. Now again, silver lining with this, because of the fact that we don't have this much, because we don't have this much space. Let me reiterate this. Sorry, I'm getting my words jumbled up. We don't have this much space because of the fact that we've got luggage. We're fortunate enough to have luggage with clothing that we have in here to change daily. Many people don't. And we also are fortunate enough to have the best fucking fans in the world to where we even need 32 boxes of merch to stuff into an awesome van that our friends were kind enough to let us rent from them after we flew into Canada, and it's their personal van. So again, this is a pretty ripping situation we're in right here. And this goes all the way back. We've taken 2 seats out. I'll show you the back in a second here, but this is where it kind of ends as far as seating goes. You'll see this seat right here is the one that actually got turned around from being in a forward-facing seat. So let's go check out the back. All right, here's the back of the van. The rest of the things. Now, it looks like we have room here. No, we don't. We don't have room here. This is where all the equipment goes. We have all of our guitars, all of our drums, our extra drum pieces. We are, once again, fortunate enough to be able to rent gear. Oh no, we're not even renting gear. We're borrowing gear from our friends in Cork out here. And they're letting us use all their gear. So we have minimal things we did need to bring with us, of course, like our guitars, of course. You know, those just fit personally on different people's bodies, and you get adjusted to things you play properly. Not like the year we lost all of our luggage for the entire tour. Last year, I think it was, in Europe, from the minute we got there, and we ended up using different people's instruments throughout the entire tour. And then we actually went to Poland and bought a new bass for Mikey to get something adjusted to, because every night they're changing their styles when they're changing on different instruments and the way those are set up. So, but again, we were fortunate enough to have friends that were willing to let us borrow their equipment, which could easily have broken while we were playing it, and let us do what we do on stage every night after, you know, you do the drives. And it's it could have been a bad situation for them because their gear might have gotten broken. So, silver lining, friends, again. It's all about the way you put it. It's the way you think about situations. So, here's this again. Here is the back of the van closing. You've give you a quick run around of a big run. I can't remember, he had a name. My buddy Fats is again the one that let us borrow this van. So he had a name for it. I can't remember her name. Fats, I'm gonna mess this up if you see this. But she is glorious. Again, rough around the edges, as Fats put it himself. She don't look pretty, but the price was right. And she runs like a machine that is getting us all around Canada right now. But you know what else about this beautiful thing? It matches our buddy's band's vehicle as well. The twinsies, right? My man. How you doing, brother? I'm good, man. It's my sober buddy from the other band that's playing tonight. Actually, we were talking, he's a skater as well. And we talked about foot surgery and like ankle surgery and shit that happens when you skateboard your whole life. Anyway, so here's the front of our vans. Twinsies. Forward run hot. It's a beauty. My main point about this vehicle here is, just like us, it's been through some shit. It's seen a lot of things. It's gone through some hard drives, some great runs. It's broken down a lot, gotten repaired, seen some things. Basically seen some things, just like everybody in life does. But it's still running. It's still running. It's still strong. It's still going strong. It's still staying alive. It's still kicking. And it's probably still grateful that it's still running in general. So this is our beauty signing off here with Tour de Van, Canadian Van Tour 2024 out here. Thank you once again to Steve Rawls of Belvedere, Fats for Big Beauty right here, and this entire awesome crew of people we're working with, and the fans for coming out here and participating in these shows. You mean everything to us, and this is so cool to see you guys out here in numbers coming out on our first headlining tour in what's probably about 4 years or something out here. So thanks a lot, friends. We'll keep on seeing you on the road. Take care of yourselves. Let's go.
My fingers hurt.
What's that?
My fingers hurt.
Oh, well, now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty. Anybody else's fingers hurt? I didn't think so.
Hey, pals.